Salvete. When we start school, one of the first things we learn is the alphabet. We probably don't give it a whole lot of thought in terms of where did it come from. We think of it as something that's just there. But in fact, our alphabet, with just a few added letters, is actually an inheritance from ancient Rome. We use the same Latin alphabet that Caesar used in writing his commentaries, and that ordinary citizens used for scrolling graffiti on the walls of Pompeii 2,000 years ago. The Romans themselves adapted their alphabet from the one used by the Greeks, who themselves borrowed from other peoples, whose method of writing ultimately goes back to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Our word alphabet, in fact, comes from the first two letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha and beta. In the ancient world, there were only capital letters, so we can see the connection between the Greek and the Latin characters more clearly there. Both languages independently developed lowercase letters during the early Middle Ages. So if you were learning Greek, you'd have to be learning a whole new alphabet. Since you're learning Latin and not Greek, it's easier. We're using the same alphabet the Romans used with a few changes over the years, and we'll be talking about that in this video. And there will be some differences in pronunciation, of course. Those will be the topic of the next few videos. For now, let's just take a look at those few minor differences between the Roman alphabet and ours. First of all, U and V. Originally, U and V were the same letter, used as both vowel and consonant. The consonant form was originally pronounced like our W. So let's take a look at the inscription on this Roman funeral stele. It was dedicated to a man named Marcus Vennius Rufus. Vennius Rufus, as they said it in ancient Rome. Notice the V on Vennius, or Vennius, and all of the U's are identical. They look alike. Over time, that sound evolved into the current sound, which we can hear in Ecclesiastical or Church Latin, as well as in modern English. This is the pronunciation you will hear in the Catholic Church and in Latin Christmas carols.
Don't try this at home.
U and V were not consistently treated as separate letters until the 7th or 8th century AD. About that time, the older sound, the W sound, began to be represented by two V's placed side by side, which, centuries later, became standardized as the letter W. In French, W is called W, double V, for just that reason. Like the letter U, the letter I was originally both vowel and consonant. The standard identification of our current letter J with the consonant form of I was formalized by the grammarian Gian Giorgio Trissino in the year 1524, not that long ago. That makes J the youngest letter in our alphabet. The distinction between V and U is old enough that you'll see it in your Latin textbook. W and J, however, are just too new. You may see J in ecclesiastical Latin texts, but neither ecclesiastical nor classical Latin will use the letter W. Okay, so there's a quick look at the history of the Latin Roman alphabet. In the next video, we'll be looking at the history of Latin pronunciation, and along the way, we'll talk a little bit about why there are two different traditions of pronunciation in common use today. All right, well, I hope to see you there. Walete.